As a middle-aged man, I try to keep up to date with modern music and stay in touch with all the latest bands like Bros and the Cheeky Girls. And it's a rare occasion that you don't hear me humming that song by, what's her name? Beyonce, that's right, that song. How does it go? I should be so lucky, 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 lucky. Yes, anyway, I am clued up with all this modern music, but I cannot work out why all these young social media influencers are so important. All young ladies do these days is pout in front of a camera, looking like a camel in drag, whilst trying to fit into a bikini that they would actually never wear on the beach. And our young males are now finding puberty is the ceiling of their maturity. And that's it. Our society is broken, and our young have devolved into unthinking, unquestioning mannequins. How did this happen? Was there something put in their school dinners that stunted their cerebral growth? Or is it entirely our faults? I would say it is mostly the latter, and we had better take responsibility for it. But I'm afraid it may be too late. We have sold our rich heritage for a fantasy island. But there is hope, and it comes from a place that I never thought I would mention. So please hear me out. Recently, I have spent time with genuine refugees, not to be mixed up with, well, you know whom I speak of. And there needs to be clear distinction and delineation between these two sets of people who arrive in Britain. Forget the criminals, chancers, and those just seeking an easy life here and wishing to take advantage of our nation's generosity. I am talking about those desperate families, and yes, families, mostly of women and young children, not young combatant-aged males. No, I speak of those in need. Yes, people who are in need, who Britain has always proudly embraced. Anyway, one thing I have noticed that many of these people, not all, but many of these people who have fled conflicts have in common, and especially the young, is they are different to our spoiled, self-obsessed young here in Britain. These youngsters have a natural sense of warmth, genuine gratitude, and their faces hold a sadness that they cannot hide, even though they bravely try. Maybe the traumas they have experienced and horrors they have witnessed have reset their moral compasses, and these are genuine refugees. I don't know why I should keep reiterating what a genuine refugee is, because that is obvious, and you have to be the byproduct of poor breeding to not know the difference. Anyway, these genuine refugees are not to be shunned, and they may hold the key to us remembering what we as human beings should be. Yes, they have mobile phones and technology because many of them come from countries that were formerly quite advanced in their living standards. But these people have perspective on life and superficiality, especially the superficiality of our degenerate society, and it is not evident or as evident within them. They have been purged of such things. These people are not obsessed with taking selfies. They may once have been, but such things were not on their agendas anymore. No, their social media pages are filled with photos of family, love, and grief. Yes, many of them have rediscovered the Christian faith of their forefathers. They say there are no atheists on the battlefield, and these people have walked away from the horrors of war, many with Bibles in their hands. Now, I don't wish for our children to ever have to experience the same trauma as these poor people, but they are definitely showing up our youngsters, and their moral values are reconnected with something that our children could learn from. We have all been affected by left-wing, unrestricted immigration, and our culture has suffered irreparable damage from it. Just look at our soldiers sleeping on the streets. And unfortunately, we have now become desensitized to the plights of desperate people. But I looked into the eyes of a woman with her children in a small church in Wales. She bore a smile with dignity, but you could see the nightmare she had lived through etched across her face. And even though she feels like an outcast, she held her head high in that church. And in her serene yet pitiful state, she taught me what it is that we have lost. If you can look those women and children, yes, real children, in the eye and say, send them back, then you have lost your soul and your moral compass is shattered. It doesn't matter what side of any individual conflict you stand on, women and children must always come first. I will end with this. The blame for our desensitization to the plight of these people lies firmly in the lap of the left, who have blurred the lines between refugee and criminal opportunist.